Because you told me to do that first. You lied.
Yeah. But the rest get to it, ain't taking no slack, get to it. You took a loss, try to bounce back, push your blood. Let me show you how to do it. Do it like a pro. Boy, we can do it. Nigga, ain't no to it. Ain't no counts, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Hey. I don't care what they talk. All I want is my Porsche. I'ma ride up clean to the wind. I'ma force kill them off like a bullshit. Nigga, you better stop it. All about my profit. I'm shooting off like a rocket. Who got the blow these niggas out the water? He go hard and go hard. Steph Curry for quarter. All I got is my neck. All I be is my ball. All I bring is that slaughter. Blood, water, bro. Hardcore. He real. He alive. If he real, one mine. Got his ass in the vibe. If you can't till I die, please don't cross the line. Try to stop trying. Boy, sharp as wild wine. I'm on the grind. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. You ain't how many bitches. I brought a whole army of niggas. So I ain't moving with precision. Follow every order different. Let's get to it. Make it a race. Get to it. Ain't taking no shit. Get to it. You take a loss and try to bounce back, push your blood. Let me show you how to do it. Undisputed like the truth. One, make it do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no counts, ain't no excuses. Let's get to it. Really truth, I'm speaking. Gotta hate for no reason. Probably don't understand. That's why I got the master plan. You know the power in my hand. Sling the shit on demand. You better watch who you stand. You get flamed up and ain't changed up for nobody. They won't spare what you know about. This ain't a rap, this a message. And the will be respected. Fake niggas like a virus. A lot of niggas infected. I came to correct. Bought a whole bunch of soldiers. Stay moving my discretion. When the rebels in the inside, all the niggas in the exit. Them niggas get the sprint. And I demand your attention. Solid nigga, I ain't folding. Plus you know a nigga hold it. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Show the check my demeanor. He smooth and clean. Flow like Aquafina. Hit him run the Seraphim. Hold up. Yeah. I got it delivered. The love about to have a baby. But I still wanna be. Let's get to it. Let's come to a dream. I'm strictly business. I'm all about the business. Blood solid and relentless. You came to make friends. I came to make a killing. That's why I'm gonna kill it. These niggas hurting. Ain't small fishes, nigga. You need a healing. I know you can hear me. I'ma bet you a rookie. And Kanye, you a Donald Trump on the pussy. I'ma get you a cookie. Ain't nothing you can tell me. I'm too ready. Let's get to it. We're gonna call this the quiet before the storm. That's what we're gonna call this. Yeah, listen to the smooth sound. Yeah, let's clap it up, y'all. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? It's real. What's up? Get this banging, man. Look, General Cabal couldn't make it in tonight, man. So we're gonna go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, bang it on out, teach it up there. So he gonna, get it on up there. So that's what's up. So look, we're gonna go into the history of criminality because it's a lot of things that our people don't understand about criminality, man. And one of the things we've been misdirected on when dealing with the propaganda of this oppressor is he makes us look like the criminal when he's really the criminal. Now, if we look at the statistics, we look at the stats of criminality and break it down by race, this oppressor murders more than us. Look, he talks about black on black crime, which is a made up concept, man. It is a made up concept. Why? Because they continue slavery based upon criminality. So of course, the various people that they had enslaved before, they pushed criminality on. So whenever we look at who's murdering who, white people kill white people more than black people kill black people. And we sitting up here thinking we the murderers. No, no, they are the murderers. Let's matter of fact, let's kick it off with Deuteronomy 32:7. You got them stats for me?
Got con on con, sir.
And I'm trying to find some stats from the 60s, because we want to go back before the 1960s, before integration. And what we want to see is what criminality looked like in black cities and towns. That's very important, because this oppressor tried to make us look like a criminal race. But it's very interesting to find that when we had segregation and when we had our own cities and our own town, there was hardly any criminality at all. There was, black people weren't murdering black people. The black woman was not a prostitute on a stripper pole. No. You could not find a prostitute that was black. You would have to go into the oppressor's community to find that. And black women certainly weren't sleeping with farm animals, having sex with pigs and donkeys. But that goes on in the oppressor's community even today, if not being more prevalent. The sin, the iniquity, the pedophilia, the homosexuality, all of that came into play as being out and out prevalent. All of this came into play after desegregation. After integration, we became a sinful people because we joined our oppressor. So let's real quick, let's go in the Bible. You got that out?
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old.
Remember the days of old, man. That's what we always told to forget. Forget about what happened in the past. This is the present. This is the future. It's not happening now. That was back then. That's not what the Bible says. Read it again.
Remember the days of
The
old.
Bible says, remember the days of old, man. The Bible says to remember those days. You know, this oppressor is always telling us to forget about our history. That it won't serve us now. It won't serve us to know who enslaved us, who raped us and murdered us, who exploited us and benefited off of us. It would only bring pain to us to know this and to talk about this. No, it won't. To talk about the crimes that another people have done to us can never be a bad thing. You have to remember the crimes that a people do to you. Why? Because they're going to do it again. And not only do they have to do it again, they have never stopped doing it. Read on.
Consider the years of many generations.
Consider, meaning to ponder on many generations. Ask my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, what was my great-great-grandfather dealing with? What was my great-great-great-great-grandfather dealing with? The oppressor, slavery, terrorism, brutality. What was my great-great-great-grandfather dealing with? Oppression, slavery, barbarism, terrorism from the same oppressor. What was my great-great-great-grandfather
grandfather dealing with? Sharecropping, oppression, criminality, terrorism, murder, sedition. What was my great-great-grandfather dealing with? Oppression, poverty, terrorism, from the same oppressor that my great-great-great-great-grandfather was dealing with. The Bible is about wisdom, man. Read that part again.
This is Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations, man. The one thing we never do, black man and black woman, is to consider what our ancestors went through. To consider the terrorism that they had to suffer by the hands of the same oppressor that is vexing us even today. The same one that keeps us in perpetual poverty. The same one that'll push dope in our communities and watch us die. And then create a business plan and lock us all up from the crime that's created by the death that he put in our community, man. If we had pondered and considered the years of many generations, we would have never integrated with such a monster, man. That would hang the parents of the children on the same road and path that the children had to walk to school on. So they had to see their parents every day hanging on a popple tree, hanging on a willow tree, with their faces disintegrating and smelling. And this oppressor wouldn't allow them to take the parents down because they needed to terrorize the next generation. Well, how come we didn't ask that generation what these people were capable of before we started marching with Martin Luther King? Read it again.
Deuteronomy 32:7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father and
That's
he will...
heavy. Ask thy father, he will tell you. My father was born in the 40s. My father fought in the Korean War for this oppressor. My father was a corporal. He drove a Jeep for the general. He protected the life of the general. And why would they trust a black man at that time? Because black people are fiercely loyal and have more patriotism than white folks could ever have. It's just that we don't understand that this is not a democracy. This country, this empire could never be a democracy. A race-based society could never be a democracy. It's almost laughable. It's almost ridiculous, man. This country could never be a democracy because the oppressor would never allow it to be a democracy. To be an out and out fair across the board, one vote, one cast, one vote, nation, it could never be that because we would outpace the oppressor. We would be on top of him in seconds if this was a fair opportunity for us to prosper in. This has never been a land of prospering for us. It's a land of death. But this is what we'll do. We'll listen to the propaganda of white colonialism and white supremacy, which tells us that we're doing well in America because Oprah is a billionaire. We're doing well in America because Michael Jordan is a billionaire. We're doing so well in America because there's millionaires that are black. Guess what, man? Those millionaires and billionaires that are black have the same exact agenda as the oppressor. That's why we should never be concerned with anything they say. Everybody talking about Gail and what Gail said and what Oprah said. We should never be concerned about anything that these people say, because we know that they work for the oppressor. Their minds have been twisted so badly, twisted until they can no longer feel the natural affinity of brotherhood and sisterhood that black people have with each other. We have a natural affinity towards each other to love each other. It's like a magnet, but it gets twisted and it gets perverted by white colonialism and supremacy and Christianity. Christianity teaches us to hate each other, man. We have a natural instinct within ourselves on a genetic level to love each other. The Lord did that. We have a flavor of love. Calling each other brother is something that we always did from biblical times, man. Calling each other brother because we always knew we might have different fathers, we might even have different mothers, but we're still the same people. We're brothers and sisters. That's why we call each other brother, bro, and sis. Achium and aquafium. We've always done this, man. But this devil and his propaganda have led us to lose our natural affinity towards each other. You had something, Salaki? Did you have your hand raised?
No, I was finishing Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
Oh, we're going to get it. We're going to get it after I finish running my mouth. You know how I get. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to make sure people understand that when this scripture, read that scripture over again. The sisters came in. Read it again.
Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old.
Lord said, remember the days of old, man. Not don't worry about what happened to you in the past. You know, in public schools, they're turning slavery, the worst chattel slavery on earth, the most horrific slavery known to man. This terrible slavery that happened on 3 continents that benefited continents of people and drawed wealth, enough wealth to bring about the most powerful nation on earth. They want to say that this is not the transatlantic slave trade, but the transatlantic migration. That's what they want to call it in schools, elementary schools and middle schools and high schools for our daughters and our sons, not to consider. Read on.
Consider the years of many generations.
The Bible tells us to consider the years of many generations, man. Not to change something that was so terrible and horrific. It changed the migrations of sharks in the Atlantic. You know, the sharks used to follow the ships from the west coast of Africa to the coast of America based upon the slave ships because they always had a fresh supply of meat that they would throw overboard. See, back in those days, the captains had to, if you would, they had to predict the amount of food it would take, you know, divided by the number of days it would take to get to America. And if that division didn't work out, brother, it did not work out in your favor. Because if they didn't have enough food, of course, they was going to sacrifice the slaves. They would throw us overboard, man. Even slit our wrists and blood and get the water, chum the water up nice and right for when they throw our babies overboard, man. Go ahead, brother.
Read, sir.
No, you had something?
No. Still I can say no.
Okay, no sweat.
Somewhere else. I'll be somewhere else.
No sweat. Let's get here. I need you here.
Yes, sir.
My man, that's what's up. The what? Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say when you was talking about that transatlantic migration, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of a whitewashing system.
God, absolutely. That absolutely. And look, and give him a thumb of hand, man. This is a brother that considers many generations. He considers many generations. You know why? Because this oppressor did this to us before. He did it to us all throughout history. He whitewashed our God. He stole our culture, our society. He stole everything that had any meaning to us, our identity, our very way of life. It wasn't enough that he had to steal us physically. He had to take everything that was inside, brother. Good night. We got to get that great gatherer scripture at some point. Not right now, but hold that for me. Let's finish this up. Go ahead.
The rest of Deuteronomy 32 and
Yes,
7.
sir.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask thy father, he will show thee. Ask your father. Go to your father, black man, and ask him what was the main challenges in his life growing up. I promise you that it's going to sound similar to yours. I promise you. I promise you, there's going to be one mitigating factor in that conversation that mirrors your life. There is a people that work for and deal in the iniquities of who you would call Satan. A people on earth that work directly for Satan. And when we go back many generations, the conversations are always going to be similar. If you can see what's happening in your society. Because remember, even Harriet Tubman said, I would have saved more people if they had only known they were slaves. And this was chattel slavery. This was chattel slavery. These Negroes didn't want to know that they was in chattel slavery. You know, Negroes today do not want to believe that they are enslaved, even though they do not benefit from their own labor. We don't benefit from our own labor. We work more than 40 hours a week, brother. Our neighborhood does not grow. Our real estate, they were doing a piece. I was watching a documentary on real estate, brother. The real estate of Park Heights, the lower and the upper half of Park Heights, the houses were built by the exact same company in the exact same year, But the white portion of Park Heights has a 15% growth to every half of percentage for the black neighborhood that's right below it. Our wealth does not grow in our community. We are unable to help our children. While the white part of Park Heights, built by the same company in the same year, right across the street from one another, right across the red line, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
A few people who have considered know what I'm talking about. You understand? All right, let's finish that up. Read on.
Yeah, sure. The rest of 32 and 7 of Deuteronomy. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Go to the elders. Who the elders in the hood? The OGs. You go to the OGs. Where they at? In jail. You go to the OGs, they all in jail for what? Selling dope, robbing, stealing, whatever it is, killing, whatever it is. They wanted to live a dynamic life, wanted to live a thug life. Go ask the elders. They fell into the same trap, the same exact trap. Go ask them while they're doing life. Who got you, who fooled you, tricked you into this situation? Who made you believe that dealing in this criminality was going to bring you some type of success? Who told you or made you to believe that dealing in the entrepreneurship of drugs and death was going to get you anywhere but dead? Have that conversation with the OGs. Baller. I've been off the streets a little bit. What they call themselves? Hustlers, shiners.
Shot callers.
Come on, shot callers.
Thugs.
That's old, sis. That's my generation. God damn. I ain't gonna ask you nothing else. Go ahead. Hey, no sweat. No sweat. I'm already there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thugs. Something was going on in my generation. You know, Tupac was the big thing back then. You know, don't nobody remember Brenda had a baby.
Yeah.
Everybody remember
we all in the same.
Hail Mary.
Right.
You remember all that?
We all in the same generation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You heard. Let's where we at on? Did we finish that? Go ahead.
So I would like to get 32, 8, and 9 is pretty much it.
Now you finished off that one?
7, yes, sir.
That 7? Yeah, we're gonna leave it with that. Give me them crime statistics, Nathun. Them crime statistics, man.
Where you want to go with?
And tell them where you at. So they can have the exact website of where you getting these statistics from. Because this is the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, bruh. This is the FBI reporting on crime statistics in America by way of race, by race. Let's go, let's top it off. Let's just go with murder. Let's deal with murder, right? Because surely black on black crime is killing America. Black on black crime is terrorizing America. Black people killing black people everywhere. In every state, in every city, black people exterminating black people. Let's get them statistics and find out who's exterminating who, man. Hold your peace for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
FBI crime table 67.
What was that again? FBI
crime table 67.
All right, type that in your Google machine. You understand? So you can get where we at. So that's the FBI. What is it again?
FBI crime table.
FBI crime table
67.
67. Go ahead, brother.
Murder and manslaughter. Whites, 1,580. Blacks or African American.
Hold on. Whites. Let's get that number. This is white on white crime. Say that number again.
White on white crime. 1,580 murders.
1,580 murders. And what year is this? Is it 2017?
19. Oh, let me see.
Or 2019?
Let me check.
It was 17 or 19. All right. No,
17. 2017.
2017. I believe that's the last statistics, or it might be one newer.
No, that's the last.
It's the last one. Doesn't matter for real. We dealing with the numbers right here. Say the number again for the white on white crime.
White on white murder. 1,580.
1,580 murders. Go to the black.
Blacks. 1,364.
Say it again.
Blacks. 1,364.
So whites are murdering more whites than blacks are murdering blacks. Now, let's deal with the feel of this country, man, and the propaganda of it. Now, white folks always want to say, don't worry about the us killing you. Don't worry about the 1 or 2 that the police kill, because y'all killing y'all. Y'all killing y'all more than any other people. So we know that's a lie. That's not happening, because white folks are killing white folks at a higher number. Now, to deal with the logic, that ridiculous logic that it's okay for police to murder an unarmed brother because other black men kill black men, and we should be more worried about the number of black men that kill black men. Check this out, and we're gonna deal with this statistic in a minute. But I just want to say this to make my point. White men are the biggest rapists of white women. They rape white women all day, every day. It is not something racist. It is not something that is against community standards. It is something that is the truth. And we're going to bring the statistics out in a minute. It is a simple truth that white men rape white women at a fantastic and unconscionable rate. All right? So now, if white men are raping white women at such a high rate, is it then okay for a Chinese man to rape a white woman? Is it then okay? Because the Chinese man can say, look, y'all raping white women at such a rate, you're degrading white women like that. Why you worrying about me raping one when you raping them all? That's an unrighteous decree. It's unrighteous logic. It is ridiculous. It is wrong to rape a white woman. It is wrong. Whether you're a Chinese man, a white man, a black man, it is wrong to rape. It is a crime. The same way it is a crime to murder a black man. Whether you are a white police officer or a black man, it is wrong and we condemn both. A white police officer does not get a pass on murdering a black man because you say other black men kill black men at more of a higher rate. Okay, when you can talk to me about morality, your crime rate cannot be higher than mine. You can't talk to me about what the hell is going on in my community when your murder rate is higher than ours. Let's get rape statistics, man. Go down to the rape. And this is today. This is today. We're going to get in the past. We're going to go back to the 60s. We're talking about now. You see that, my thumb?
Con on con. Rapes among whites, 5,039.
Good night. Good night. 5,000. That's several rapes every day. That's rape upon rape every day. Give me the black statistics.
Rapes among blacks, 1,544.
1,544.
You want the percentage?
1,544. Now we understand that it's more white people in the country than black people. We understand that. We got you on that. But this is the thing. If you're raping your women more than we're raping our women, you don't have the moral currency to tell us what the hell we need to do and what we shouldn't do, especially when you are contributing to the iniquity of black communities with your dope and with your propaganda and with your hate.
So like it's a year. The number you just
John,
it was a year.
2017.
In 2017. John, right. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's unconscionable for people with such a record, with such iniquity, such criminality, to point a finger at the very people that they have exploited and murdered for hundreds of years. It's unconscionable, man. It's a vile thing to do, to have such propaganda. Go ahead, my thumb.
And you actually got to look at this number like this. This is a soft number for them, for the simple fact that a lot of them don't report their rapes until one of their white counterparts are running for some kind of high office or something like that. This is actually a soft number. Man, it's a lot more than that.
Look, their crimes, period. You have to understand something. Black neighborhoods are heavily saturated and patrolled by police officers. You can't get away with littering in the black community, let alone a rape. You understand? Let alone a robbery. There's nobody patrolling white neighborhoods because why? You have enough money, you have enough space, you have enough legal fortitude, so people are not harassing you and stopping and frisking you every 5 minutes. So no, your crimes are not reported, and you're absolutely right, my thumb. My thumb.
Con.
Appreciate you. Absolutely right, my thumb.
We got like less than a third of what they do. Less than a third.
Absolutely. Look, this is what we gotta understand. We're listening to their propaganda, and the oppressor, of course, listens to their own lies. Their own lies, which tell them that they are a people of morality. They are innovative people, a people that get things done. They are the people that invented everything on the earth, which is of course a lie. They are the people that brought light to the earth, which is a lie. They brought darkness and murder and genocide. They have to make new names up for the amount of murder and barbarism that these people are responsible for. There has not been one continent on earth untouched by colonialism, Christianity, which brought terror, criminality, barbarism, and genocide, man. There has not been one stitch of land that they have not overturned with this evil. These oppressors are evil, man. And every society and empire that they build and bring into fruition is evil. The Bible says that any city, any town that's built upon blood, man, that's built on blood, is deserving of death, and I'm paraphrasing. Let's get I see you, sir. Let's get Ecclesiastes 1:9. What you got, sis?
Did you just hear on the news about the Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
Come.
They are filing bankruptcy for all the molesting they did to all the children that was in the Boy Scouts. So they did it on already. Did a big thing today about them and all that stuff.
Look, understand it.
That's good.
The National Boy Scout League should be the National Butt Scout League, because that's what they have done over a half a century. They have been molesting and terrorizing these children, their own children. They cannot be responsible for the safety of their own children. Yet we give our children over to them at a young age for them to teach. They poison the minds of our children, making our children believe that they are less than what they are. That being black is terrible. Even I can even have empathy for Oprah. Oprah said at a young age that she wanted to be white. Like, it's hard for everybody to be strong. And they can see that white folks are treated differently on a different level than what we're treated. All right? But what we don't know and understand is the evil in these people. And what you brought out is very significant and very true. Because the Boy Scouts was supposed to be some adventure, things that were beautiful for children, an experience for children to learn, for children to go in the wilderness and survive and be able to be responsible. This was something that was supposed to help the children. Instead, these white folks preyed on those children. They preyed on them for sexual gratification, pure emotion, to satisfy any evil, deviant urge that you have in yourself, to abuse a child in such a way. And not only did they do that, but they made a criminal conglomerate out of doing it. They made a criminal conglomerate. Like, look, showing up, man, this is crazy. Like, people talk about R. Kelly and the Puddin' Pop dad.
Bill Cosby.
But these white folks had islands, criminal corporation conglomerates where they would brutalize women and rape them and sell them into child pornography. And you talking about R. Kelly?
Peeing on a couple people.
The
wee wee boy, the wee on me. Well, you got Weinstein. What's the other clown that killed himself?
Epstein.
Epstein had a whole island, bro. That's a conspiracy. He wasn't on that island by himself. It was people bringing the food. It was people making the chains and putting up his arenas where he would have mass rapes. Come on, man. This is a corrupt country where he would fly them over in his private jet. He wasn't flying the plane itself. There was somebody flying a plane that knew some people's children was going to this sexual deviant island to be raped. Come on, man. We should be completely and utterly not concerned with anything this oppressor says. He does not have the moral currency to talk to us about anything, especially when he causes most of it. Whew. That joint's cold. Let's get to it. All right, what scripture I asked for?
Ecclesiastes 1:9.
All right, let's get it.
Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that hath been.
The thing that what?
That hath been.
Go ahead.
It is that which shall be.
The thing that has been is that which shall be. If you build a country, a criminal corporation based upon the enslavement, the captivity, the barbarism of a people, you then have to maintain it by the same means in which you built it. Because the root is the same as the stem and the same as the leaves. That which was, read it over again.
Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that has been.
The thing, that evil, disgusting, corrupt idea that the Pope over there in England had to enslave black people, to enslave the Jews that had vexed him the entire time. These Jews who are royalty, special to God. That disgusting Pope Alexander knew and understood that. But yet and still he wrote an unrighteous decree to enslave the children of God anyway. And that's when he doomed you. He doomed our enemies, man. He doomed white colonialism when he came up against the children of God. This punishment is almost over. Read on.
The thing that hath been is, it is that which shall be.
It is that which shall be. When they enslaved us, quartered us, gave us no mercy. Look, just we gotta understand. I got to go deep. I gotta go deep here, man. Salakia. I got to go a little bit deep here, man. Look. When they put us in this chattel slavery, they put us in this chattel slavery. And they went so deep and so far into iniquity and degradation, man. that they decided to move the very light from our minds, man. They devised all types of things to destroy our minds and to get us to do homosexuality, to get us to go into criminality, and to get us to destroy ourselves. They understood the psychology of black people. They understood the love that a black woman would have for a black child. So they would take that black man and rape him in front of that black woman, degrade him, undercut him, take his power as a man in front of that woman. So then she would then teach her children to be effeminate. They decided to go that route because they are a soulless people. But we keep wanting them to have a soul. But when we actually consider the things of old and what's been done and what's being done, it's very clear. It's very clear. When we can deal with actual events that happen and the events that's happening, and we can remove the emotion, we can then find out what's really happening and why our communities are the way they are. Damn. Go ahead, Al.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, the rest of it. And that which is done is that which shall be done.
That which is done is that which shall be done. Meaning they're going to continue. This is not something we can buy our way out of. This is not something we can study our way out of. Enough education, enough talent to bounce a basketball ain't going to get us out of this as a people. That's not going to happen. Let me get some statistics by race on the 60s. Let me get you to work on that, Tom. And I was
repeat that again on
criminality statistics by race. By race. I want to get some statistics back in the 60s. Just type it into your Google machine. And I should have got that page for you, Salaki. I did. That was my bad. Get me give me Baruch 2 and 30. Let's get that while you're looking for that. Come, Baruch. Get that while we're looking for that. Let me see if we got any questions, anything on probably looking at
10:37.
Yeah, give me Baruch 2 and 30. Let's get down with that.
Yeah, I got it.
And we're gonna get some more of them statistics too, because when you're dealing with the past with us, all right, and you also have to understand how the criminal justice system came about. It came about to accommodate Black people, to accommodate the businesses that needed that type of labor, very cheap labor. The criminal justice system became a ways and means for corporate white America to obtain that cheap labor outside of what you would call chattel slavery. So this is what the American criminal justice system was built upon. This is the foundations that it was built upon, an unrighteous foundation. Matter of fact, before you give me that, keep your finger there and give me that scripture. Any city built on blood. Give me that real quick, and then we're gonna come back to Baruch. But just keep your finger there. Let me see if give me that, because we need to understand what happens when you build a city on blood. Because this entire nation, its social structure, it's not only its criminal justice system, but every social political group that has come about came about through barbarism, man. Through blood, murder, hate. Every group, the KKK, the skinheads, all of this came about through unrelenting hate. How can you have that much deep embedded hate for people who have done nothing to you? If you are a human being and have any type of humanity, and you really thought that this people was somehow beneath you, why would you need to treat them so grievously if you thought they were beneath you? You really know the truth that the people who you are degrading are the very people who are royals over you. But you got so much deep down embedded genetic hatred for Black people that you can't even rectify in your mind why you are so hateful. Well, it's something that is biblical. The Bible talks about a perpetual hatred. Now, only perpetual hatred is something that is generational. It's something that death cannot conquer. Now, you have one generation that'll enslave, that'll terrorize, that'll rape and murder and brutalize, and then the very next generation will do the same. The next generation after that will do the same. That's perpetual hatred. You cannot terrorize and brutalize a people without hating them. You understand? This is a deep embedded hatred. You cannot, for 400 years, enslave and lynch. Why would you lynch and light a people on fire? Cut off their genitals, pickle their genitals in some whiskey, and put it on your mantle or your fireplace. That's hatred. Why would you bring your children to a lynching and call it a picnic? A pick-a-nigga day where you take a Black man out and hang them and make your children watch. That's perpetual hatred. This is biblical. Give me, what scripture did I ask for? Did you find that? The city built on blood?
No, I never got it. I thought,
Did you find that, my thumb, or no?
City built on blood.
Then we can move on. If you did, that's cool.
No, you had asked me about the grape gatherers.
I have a rope.
No, I don't need the great gatherers yet. I did want the city built on blood though, but it ain't.
I can grab that for you. I can find it.
It ain't no thing if you don't. We can move. Let me see if we got any questions. All right. Now we gotta get that Facebook up back up and running too. All right, so we ain't got that. Give me that in Baruch, man.
It was in the Apocrypha, Baruch 2 and 30.
Come.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Good night. Read it again.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of
He said, I knew that they would not hear me, because this is a stiff-necked people. We will not go along with logic, man. We rather go along with Wakanda and fairy tales than to deal with actual logic, with the actual things that are going on in our life right now. We are being decimated as a race, unhinged. Our children are squeegee kids. We have no businesses in which to employ them. Our children are born in a community that cannot help them. Do you understand how bad of a situation we are in right now? The same situation we were in Egypt, when it says we are in an evil case. For black people, we are in an evil case right now, man. What does an evil case mean? Meaning there is evil being done to us on a national level. This is institutionalized hate and racism that's built into the very political and social society of America. You not being able to get a cab 2 o'clock in the morning is just a symptom of the problem. I'm going too deep. They ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna understand it.
We was leaving camp Saturday, man, and you know they was giving the squeegee boys tickets down on President Street.
Mm-hmm.
Giving them tickets, but the white dudes with the signs out there walking in the street.
They give them no ticket.
Wasn't giving them no
Understand this, man. Understand this. The meek, the very people that are in desperation, are the very people that this society will attack. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's very profitable. Racism has been very profitable for white America. They have prospered off of racism. They have become basically emperors in the earth. But the evil and the hate is so prevalent that they can't stop it even among themselves. Why are there poor white people? Why?
Casualties of war.
Casualties of war. Why wouldn't these white people take care of those white people? Greed, sin, iniquity. Because if they're not destroying other races of people, they'll destroy themselves. That's why they rope them off in Europe and let them kill themselves. They're going to kill and rape regardless. Our crime statistics were almost not even measurable back when we had Black Wall Street and Rosedale. Almost unmeasurable. until we integrated, went into perpetual poverty, lost all of our businesses, and became the most hated, degraded people on earth. So much so that the other nations won't even speak up about it. How can you have a people that are inside the richest nation on earth, but have slums and ghettos like they have in third world countries? Why would you allow the most richest, powerful people on earth to feed drugs to the poorest people? Should not some other race of people speak up about it? Don't they see it? Don't they know that in Chicago, one day takes 6.8 metric tons of heroin? That's just heroin. Metric tons of heroin to feed the drug problem in Chicago. You can't do that with little private planes and cars. You have to have military grade airplanes. You have to conserve the integrity of the drug, meaning it got to be air conditioned. Only the government could handle an operation that large. That's just heroin. We ain't got any e-pills, marijuana, cocaine. A little private jet can't drop off 80 pounds of marijuana to feed the marijuana craze, man. In one county. This is a military grade operation. Straight, there's no other way it could be. This is chemical warfare against an autonomous people who has done nothing for America besides work their hands to the bone, die in the wars of America, build the economy of America with our blood, our bone, and our sweat, and our people, and our labor, and our children. We sacrifice everything for this country, and won't no heathen say this is chemical warfare that they're doing against these people. This is a crime. White folks call it manifest destiny. You might hear Donald Trump talk about it in the White House garden. He says it was our destiny to rule the earth, to come over here to America and murder the Native American Indians and enslave the Negro and lynch and terrorize and destroy the Hispanics. That was our destiny, our manifest destiny. It was a crime. As simple as that. It wasn't destiny. It was a crime by criminals. It's as simple as that. Give me a time check.
8:21.
Anybody got any questions online in the room, anything like that? Let's get that Baruch, man. Oh, what did I say? Matter of fact, hold up. I think I found that scripture.
Exactly.
Give me Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2:12. Let's get that. Let's get that. See what's up. See what's up with that, man. Because look,
That's it.
this country was built on a foundation of evil and iniquity. You can't grow something that is something that is good and amazing to the world and that helps people and that helps to grow people. You can't build that off of sin and blood and iniquity, man. The two don't work together. You cannot destroy, murder, and enslave a people and then expect generations down the road for the country to be a beacon of light. It's a lie. This is not a beacon of light. It's a beacon of darkness, of sin, of hell, of death. Give me that out.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Look, destruction unto him, death unto him that builds a town with blood. When you didn't build an entire society, an empire, the most powerful empire on the earth, through murder and death. The United States of America had an enemy called the USSR. What was it? The Union of Soviet Socialist Republic?
Yeah.
Which has twice the amount of land mass, 3 times the resources that America has. You understand me? In oil, animals, people, iron, 3 times the amount of resources, man. But it's one thing Russia doesn't have: slaves. Russia doesn't have a people that it doesn't have to care about the humanity of. That's why cocaine was dumped into every black community in America, so that America could compete with the arms race of Russia. Russia encompassed many different time zones and countries. America had, what we got, 3 time zones? 2, 3 time zones. And Russia got something like, well, I gotta look it up. I'm not just gonna say, but you got 2-3 times the amount of land and resources that was galvanized. But America still won the arms race because America was able to generate monies and resources on a people that she didn't have to give a damn about. You can dump a powerful narcotic into a community of people that you don't have to give a damn about. You don't have a responsibility for, either morally or legally. They made sure of that in the Constitution. Either morally or legally, they didn't have a responsibility to us. Ronald Reagan poured so much dope in black communities and destroyed us so thoroughly and beat their enemies that they built the most powerful warship on the earth and named it the USS Ronald Reagan. You think I'm lying? Go online and take a look.
I already saw it.
That joint is the most powerful jet carrier. It's a damn airport, 2-3 airports floating on the damn water. Got rail guns, all kinds of modern weaponry. It can park outside of any country and just go about mobilizing activities to just destroy that country anyway. Sovereign of American ground. They named it the Ronald Reagan Because Ronald Reagan destroyed the real enemies of America, us. It'll take generations to get from. Where the crack babies at? Where are the crack babies that was created from all of that crack? It was an epidemic. It was crack babies everywhere, created from the crack. All up in New York, all down Chicago, all in Baltimore. All you heard in the 90s was crack babies. Little teeny babies being born that could never stop crying, couldn't control themselves and their emotions. What happened to all those hundreds of thousands of crack babies that was born? They never got any help. They never got compensated for the government putting crack in their communities. But with the opiate thing, they was able to sue Big Pharma. White folks was able to get millions of dollars in funding to make sure their children was okay from the children that was born through that opiate crisis. What happened to the crack baby? Everybody was talking about it. You a crack baby. That was the thing back then. Shut up, crack baby. What happened? It was an epidemic. They just stopped talking about it. Did the babies disappear? They didn't all die. Well, they in their 30s now. They in their 30s now. And what they doing, the murders that's going on, the robberies are going on, untreated. Psychological and physical damage from a powerful narcotic that was put into the neighborhoods of Black people and promoted as something for Black people to go into business to do. Everybody got a business model. The Arabs got the gas stations, the Dunkin' Donuts, the Chinese got all the little mom and pop stores. White folks, of course, they got all the real estate. They was able to suck up everything. John Hopkins sucked up everything in East Baltimore. Catholic Charities sucked up everything out of Cherry Hill. Black people got crack. Did you have something with them?
Oh, no, I was going to say, well, those crack babies, that's the ones that's raising these children now. That's uncontrollable. Yeah, I mean, crack babies that grew up, or the crack babies that was happening in the 80s, are the parents today that's letting these children run wild and uncontrollable.
They out of control, they damn self.
See, it was a plan. This whole thing, everything that they doing was strategically planned. Those crack babies was supposed to
tell them again.
Those crack babies was supposed to.
What you just said?
It was a strategic plan.
A what?
A strategic plan.
It was a plan. Strategic. It was purposely done to degrade our neighborhoods, to degrade the integrity of our families and our neighborhoods. Physically, spiritually, monetarily. And because we don't consider, we allowed it to happen. I want to go back to that other scripture, but finish off the scripture.
The book of Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe, destruction on him that buildeth a town with blood. A corporation, a criminal conglomeracy, a social political empire built upon blood and destruction, a business model of sedition and iniquity. Read.
And establisheth a town with Salah, and establish a town by Salah, and establishes a city by iniquity.
And establish a city by iniquity. Every city from New York to Los Angeles was established by blood, exploitation, poverty, homelessness, all of it. LA has an innumerable number of millionaires. Also has the highest rate of homelessness in the country. Where you have millionaires that go down there to retire. They'll fly over poor people dying homeless with tents on the highway. They'll ride by in their Mercedes and their Bugattis, and give me something else. Ferraris, Porsches, Maseratis, Maybach, Cadillacs, all that, Phantoms. They'll ride by in those expensive and that expensive machinery and watch people on the side of the road in tents that don't even have the padding to protect them from the cold concrete of the goddamn road. But swear that they are the greatest nation on earth. Give me a time check. 8:36. I got it. Let's get this last scripture, man. Where we at?
Who was it?
Not Hamakot. Let's go back to Baruch.
Baruch was
Baruch
2
in 20.
2 and 30.
2:30. Salakia.
You want it?
Con.
Baruch, this is in the Apocrypha. Baruch 2 and 30. For I knew that they would not hear me.
I knew that they would not hear me. The Lord saying, I knew y'all wasn't going to hear me because you wasn't underneath your master. I'm going to tell you how sad it is, man. I got to bring out statistics from the FBI, your slave master, before anybody will believe what I'm saying. I would have to have a reference from the slave master. I can't have a blackity black reference. I can't have a reference from a black scholar. It has to come from the oppressor.
Of course,
to be real.
Of course.
Well, this is his own crime statistics that we didn't show you. That white on white crime is far more prevalent than black on black crime. But why aren't they addressing their crime problem? Why do the police always have to be in our neighborhood? Because they benefit. The funding. The more criminality you have in a city, the greater the funding for the police department. More funding means more rich oppressors. They need black people to sin. This country needs black people to do crime, to sin, to deal in iniquity, to harm one another. That's how it prospers. That's how it maintains its viability on the earth, its dominance in the earth. Black people must sin. Imagine that. Only a devil benefits from the sin, the iniquity of other people. Only a devil. You understand? There is a people on the earth that benefits directly from black people who sin. They wrote a business model to prosper, to fund certain agencies depending on the level of iniquity of black people. I'm going too far. I'm gonna back off. Did we finish that? Read on out.
This is on the Apocrypha, Baruch 2 and 30.
Come on.
For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people.
Stiff-necked Negroes, man. You don't listen and you don't consider. Consider the days of old. Ask your daddy, your grandpappy, what they was dealing with. Ask your great-great-granddaddy what his sign used to say when he was marching for better jobs and against police brutality. You know what his sign said? The same goddamn thing your sign said when you was marching against police brutality, better wages, better jobs, better treatment. Turn the class over to precinct officer Madam Shakari. Nothing else I can say about it. It's a lot. Israel. Right. Security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Your Honor. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves in the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashah. Tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Up and coming holy convocation. We had the 51st Passover, which is April the 9th, up in White Plains, New York. If you haven't already, make sure you make arrangements to get up there, get you a hotel room. Make sure you plan on being there if you are of Israel. Remind Akim Aquapium. Check in on social media such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarf. And with that, you'll get one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Amayim Shabbat. Amayim. Barak. Yahweh Shabbat.
Sir? Sir? Oh, yes, sir. Shalom,
Yahweh Shalom.
That's your time. Class dismissed.
I say it right?
Y'all don't make me nervous.
No, did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it.
Come.
Sound right.
Yeah, you was in the car. What I was,
Gonna call me.
yeah, we were